Yes, people, welcome to another edition of Knightz, the Roundtable Discussion, where we discuss all sports all the time. We are back. I'm with my guys, The Truth and Tooth. How are we doing, people?
Wonderful, my friend. Lovely, lovely.
All good in the hood, brother.
That's what I like to hear. Now, before you continue watching this video, make sure you like and subscribe because we want to get the peas for everything that we're doing. But we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go straight in. We've missed out on a lot, but the biggest news in the world right now, and it's not got nothing to do with the Rockets beating the Lakers. It is about the man himself, Mr. Lionel Messi and Barcelona. It's been, well, pardon the pun, messy in terms of where we've gotten to, but obviously, just to give you a backstory, if you've been hiding under a rock for the past couple of months, Messi decided that he's had enough of Barcelona. He wants to leave, believed he could leave on the free. Barcelona said no, 700 million M's for him to leave. They've been in dispute. Lionel's decided that he wants to stay, saying the reason being is that he doesn't want to take Barcelona to court. A lot to digest there, but we're going to start off with you two. What was your first let's go back to the beginning. What was your first reaction when you heard that Messi said, yeah, it's time for me to move on now?
Yeah, man. Well, just to let the viewers know, I'm a huge Barcelona fan. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's been my team outside of obviously Newcastle, like my European team, the team that I followed for many reasons. But obviously this is pre-Messi as well. Like, it wasn't just Messi came and I jumped on the bandwagon. So for me, I was overwhelmed. I was very happy that he wanted to leave, simply because I feel for my man. I really do. Imagine putting up with that sinking ship for so long. It's understandable. And again, it might be a bit contradictory for a Barcelona fan to say, yeah, he needs to leave, but he does need to leave. As a player, he's done everything and he's achieved everything with the club. And clearly the club have got to a point where they're just a circus now. They're really a circus now. You bought 300 million euro or pound players in Dembele, Griezmann, and there was one more.
Frankie de Jong, I think.
Yeah,
Coutinho.
exactly.
Coutinho as well.
And you're getting what, 8-0, like what, 8-2, whatever it is. Like, it's a joke. And I'm sure everyone here listened to the interview he done at goal.com.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get a more truthful interview. And what amazed me is that, like, this is the first time in football where a situation like this has happened, where a player has openly come out and said, like, look, I do not want to be playing for this club, but I'm still going to remain on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's so mental. I mean, we could talk about Gareth Bale, but who gives a fuck about Gareth Bale? Do you get what I mean? Like, trust me. But yeah, it's a very peculiar. I don't know if you guys have noticed if this has happened before, but for me, this is a first. Like, I've never heard of a player like openly come out and say, look, don't want to play for the club, but I'm still going to play for the club.
No, I don't think it has happened before. I think the situation, it's just really messy. And truth, if I come to you, obviously his dad has come out and said that he should have been able to leave for free. But Barcelona said 700 mil, and La Liga backed them. If you're Barcelona, do you take this as a victory that you've been able to make Messi back down from going forward and taking you to court, and it just getting long and tiresome and all the rest of it?
So what I got from it, from the people that are close, they have said if this was going to get drawn out, it'll get drawn out for a long period of time. So Messi still wouldn't have been able to move because, at the moment he's not allowed. So if he was to take him to court, it'll go long after the deadline for the transfer deadline. So he wouldn't be able to move anyway. So because La Liga stepped in and Barcelona specifically saying no, the move was never going to happen. Just because of that, he could have forced it eventually. Like he could have forced it to go move in January, but that's a bit too long for him. He didn't want to drag Barcelona through the dirt as it is. So in terms of it being a victory, Tube said it perfectly. Barcelona become a circus, because on one hand they're like saying, yeah, we're putting our foot down, no player power over here. Then on the other hand, they have a player who's earning near 1 million euros a week. Yeah. If he stays until the end of the season, apparently he gets paid 63 million euros.
Yeah.
For loyalty
his
bonus.
Contract for every year he remains is something like 70 million.
So he's getting that money. He's not going to be playing at his best ability because he doesn't want to be there. Even if he plays, I know he's a consummate professional, but there's only so much you could do if you're not motivated and you're not happy. And that team needs loads of work. So that's that. And Barcelona have huge debts. It's not like they could afford to pay this money. And if you're doing a rebuilding process, you have to think about it. Sometimes you have to be like, you're a certain age. What's the point of you rebuilding with us when you're only going to be, about 1 or 2 years, maybe at your max? So if they think about the rebuilding process, they need to find a player that they need to build around. But as Tu said, it's a circus, so they don't literally know what they're doing right now. They do not know what they're doing.
Can I just add to that? I saw an interview today from a year ago by Ronald Koeman. I'm not sure if you boys saw this, but it was an interview in Spanish. And he was saying, like, he basically called it before all of this happened, which is strange. He was like, look, all these players are like 33 now. All these established players. So, your Busquets, your Messis, your PKs, they're all like, they're coming to the end. So there needs to be like like Truth said, there needs to be a revamped version of the club where you get the old out and you bring the new in. But then Koeman has come in now and he said, there's certain players that are untouchable. And a few on that list look a bit like, like, what are you doing? Like, Semedo, like, bro, you need to get rid of that dude. You know what I mean? Like, what is this all about? And it's crazy because there's not been a lot of transfer. Like, I know they've talked about Wijnaldum coming in, and I know they've talked about Depay coming in. But I'm thinking to myself, like, bruv, they need to really take a page out of Chelsea's book and get these Ziyechs and get these Werners and get these Havertz, because you're not gonna build a Champions League winning squad with players that are suffering post-traumatic stress syndrome, bro. But we could go back as far as PSG beating them 4-0. I know they eventually got over that hurdle. But that was the start, Exactly, bro. Those cracks started to show from way back, and then we had Roma, Liverpool, and obviously Bayern.
Yeah, of course, and that's the thing. And I think this whole Messi debacle is an accumulation. He said it as well. I mean, getting beat 8-2 by Bayern Munich, complete humiliation. Liverpool coming back to beat them in the Champions League last season. The Roma, bro. Edin Dzeko. Man City rejects, bruv.
Freaking hell, Roma.
You're giving me a migraine, bruv. Like, how, bruv, you get me? Don't get me wrong. I love a Cinderella story. I love it. We all do. We all love that But come on now, like it is a circus, bro.
It is, and the thing is that we're now looking, as you said, you're looking at Wijnaldum, who's 29. Last year's contract at Liverpool. Like, why? All right, we've got Memphis. Cool, fair enough. And then obviously they're trying to get rid. I mean, Arturo Vidal looks like he's on his way out. Can't remember what team it is. Suarez is a.
I can't believe
it's crazy. They sold Rakitic, Suarez,
Suarez
and we're talking about no money. Like, it's no money. So I don't.
1.2 million for Rakitic,
I don't know who's in.
1.2.
Who's in charge of that club right now? I want to know who is leading it. It must be like flipping some ex-Madrid person or something, like Florentina Perez, like behind the scenes or something, because it don't sound right. Nothing sounds right. I heard that they linked with Angelino.
Perez, this is. I don't know if you guys like thought of this when this news broke, but when the release clause 700 million came out, bro, the first thing I thought of was Figo, bro. You know them one there, bro. First thing I thought of
True.
is Perez going to come in with the checkbook and just
I
swipe?
know.
Unfortunately,
wouldn't go,
Madrid ain't got no. They're in debt as well. They ain't got no money
Yeah.
either. I mean, Gareth Bale's there earning 500 and something grand a week, and they
That- but-
they can't shift him.
I'll tell you what, all of this is what Wenger literally said would happen in terms of it getting out of hand with how much players were getting. And now we're in a place, and it's happened to the biggest one of all, where he's there, he can't leave because his buy clause is too much. Barca don't really personally want him to stay because they're paying him too much money. And that's got me thinking what Tu was talking about in terms of Coleman. Coleman had a one-on-one with Messi, and apparently it didn't go well because what Coleman was saying is that I don't care if you're Lionel. this is my team now. And
imagine you're the baddest gunman in the world right now, yeah, and you got some next old man telling you, bro, I don't care who you are.
I'm telling you.
I don't care how many Ballon d'Ors you got. This is my team now, bro. And
Yeah,
I think that's part of the reason why Lionel's also not happy, because obviously he wants Xavi, and I don't think Xavi deserves it because he hasn't earned his credentials, but it is what it is. But he wants Xavi in to bring through the new breed of young players, just like they did with Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets. Obviously, Piqué came to United, but obviously, like, it's the conveyor belt that which Barcelona started.
Oh, but this is the question: who is Xavi going to bring in? Because La Masia is a circus as well now.
It's true.
It's true.
Like, that conveyor belt is now just there's no one there, man. All of those youths that I was reading up on this, La Masia, all of their best players have bounced. All of them. They've gone PSG, they've gone City, they've gone. There was a kid called there was this like mulatto kid with dreadlocks called Xavi. I'm not sure if you.
I don't think you're allowed to say mulatto anymore.
Hi, man, bro. All right, whatever. What is the politically correct term?
Mixed race.
So yeah, there was this mixed race kid with dreadlocks in La Masia, bro, and he was going viral, bro. I'm not sure if you saw. His name was Xavi as well. He was meant to be the next best player. Bro, he bounced to PSG, man. He was like, I'm not having it. And that's like a 14, 15-year-old understanding, like, yo, this club is falling apart. This is no place for me to, like...
Yeah, do you remember that story? I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Aston Villa. The Aston Villa youth that went to Barcelona, and then 2 weeks or 2 months later, I forget which one, he was back in England because he said it was a mess there. Like, he was like 16. He said, Barcelona wanted him. He went there. And then in a few weeks, he was back. I think it was Aston Villa youth. He said, imagine going there back in 2010. Any 16-year-old would have dreamt go to La Masia, but...
Yeah, and now it's like they're trying to get out of there.
And that's it. And I think, do you just to come back to Lionel, do you think, obviously we know he's going to stay now and whatnot, he doesn't want to take Barcelona to court, but do you think initially, like, me personally, I didn't believe that he wanted to leave Barcelona. I just thought it was a power play to get the president out because he doesn't like the president, the direction the club's going in, doesn't like anything from top to bottom with what was going on. So, Tooth, just say that. Do you think it was just a power play more than anything else, or do you think that he actually genuinely wanted to leave and go elsewhere?
That I genuinely believe he wanted to go, and that was confirmed. That belief was confirmed by the interview, because in the Goal.com interview, the dude asked him, like, yo, what was the point of you sending the burofax? And he was like, to officially make it clear, like, I want to put my foot down, I want to bounce it. I've had enough, basically. I love the club, but, I've been set. And the funny thing is, in that interview as well, he said, I said this at the beginning of the year, and I've been saying it all throughout the year. Do you know what I mean? And it's just been falling on deaf ears. So now we've got to the point where I've reached my tipping point, and I'm just going to make it. I'm going to make it public. I'm going to make it. I'm not happy here. I want to leave. These are the problems with the club. And again, in the interview, bruv, he was bashing the president differently.
Yeah, but you got it.
Threw my man under a bus.
Boy, and it's depressing on one hand, because you would never associate, let's be honest, like, all of us would have loved Lionel at our clubs, but realistically, you would never foresee that Messi's going to come out and say, time for me to leave Barcelona. I think the only time you could 100% see that is when he's basically done, because I
Mhm.
think they said the one thing he hasn't done is actually played in Argentina.
Yeah.
So you thought when Messi gets to like 37, 38, they'll say, all right, cool, I'm done with Barca now. I'll go and play in Argentina for a year and then come back as a coach at Barcelona. So it's all crazy. But let's forward think for a second, because at the end of the day, it doesn't look like he's going to sign a new contract. He is in the final year of his contract. January, he can start talking to clubs. Obviously, we know the whole Pep Man City link is there. PSG is there as well to rekindle his little relationship with Neymar. But as we said, January, anyone can go in for him because he will be going on a free. Obviously, wages are a bit of an issue, but where would he end up if we see that Lionel signs that pre-contract? Where's he going? I'm going to send that to the truth first.
There's only one place at the moment that I think he wants to go, and that is Man City. The only reason is that I don't see him go in Germany. There's no team that can afford him in Germany. Italy, he's got more. He's still competitive enough to compete against Ronaldo. So Inter Milan may be an option if Inter Milan get to that level in the next year. They are building a big team. They do have wealthy owners, so they maybe can afford him. He definitely won't go Juve. PSG is a definite no.
He can come to Juve. Stop hating.
No. Not for Ronaldo. Unless Ronaldo leaves, I don't think he would join Ronaldo. He would never. It's not Juve. He just won't join Ronaldo. I think he's made differently like that. PSG, nope. He'll walk that league, and I don't think he wants to walk that league. But the talk is, the reason why he even chose City, I believe, is that he does want to come test. I think all the talk about testing himself elsewhere and in England, eventually, once people say something enough, it starts to become true. So he would want to come test himself in England officially, and City's the only place I see him.
Tooth, do you concur with that, or do you think he could go?
Yeah, I completely concur. I think it has to be City and nowhere else, simply because PSG is just like, come on, man. They are competitive, but it's, again, just going back to his interview, he's hungry to like compete at the top level.
Hungry.
He only wants to be at a top club. I think I read a report somewhere where Juve was interested, but you can't really put all your faith into that. Inter, again, it's just Serie A. It's appealing, but it's still a step down from La Liga. You know what I mean? And by the way, I was going to ask, is Conte still at Inter, or did they sack him?
Yeah, no. He's staying.
Maybe then, maybe, because Conte is like a very ambitious, no-nonsense kind of manager. He wants to win everything.
Yeah, so Inter's possible. Inter's possible. And I can see see the Italian Federation rubbing their hands together to see Lionel versus Ronaldo in the Italian football.
Oh yeah.
I think it'll be a travesty. I think those two shouldn't be competing in Serie A, bro. Like Ronaldo and Messi.
No, I think it's a natural. I think it's a natural thing. Come on, where do all players go to retire? Italy. Yeah. A lot of Europeans go back to Italy to retire. So
yeah, but I think Lionel still has a lot more. I think that, don't be wrong, I think City is where he'll end up unless we see a dramatic U-turn at Barcelona and everything goes Messi's way. But I do believe he could end up at PSG, and not for the French league, but to be able to say, all right, cool, boom, they haven't been able to achieve the Champions League.
And then go win the Champions League.
And go and win the Champions League with PSG. Same thing with City. But that's why I say those two are probably the main two, because I think even if he went to PSG, he'll be like, all right, cool, I'll rest in the French league games unless they're playing like Lyon or Monaco or something, and he just won't play. He'll just play in the Champions League, and he could bring the Champions League to PSG, because not only would that say to everyone, all right, cool, I've come to this team, they've never won it before, I've come and they've won it.
It's
but
true.
Also, man, will get in with them rich boys, bruv, the owners, bruv, get some more money in that. Like, basically, he could demand whatever wages he wants if he goes to PSG. He could be like, yeah, I want 700, 800 grand a week, and they'll pay it. Whereas Man City will just be like, nah, we can only offer you 4 or 5.
It's true, but the reason why I say, because you've got to think of it, all right, if it's in terms of owners, both of them are like filthy rich Arab clubs. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's literally a case of they'll put the checkbook in front of him and say, how many O's do you want? Right? the reason why I don't think he will go PSG is simply, it's not footballing reasons, not Champions League reasons. It's just not a fit for Messi and his lifestyle. Again, one of the things that he mentioned was, you know, he wanted somewhere where his wife and kids can settle. And obviously his family don't want to leave Barcelona at all. They made that very clear. And that was a big reason why he didn't eventually follow through with pushing this whole transfer. It was simply because to keep his family happy. But PSG, man, it's a party club. There was who was that Belgian left back they had that's gone to Dortmund now?
Meunier
or something.
Yeah.
He came out and gave an interview and said, like, look, if you're a Paris Saint-Germain player, all you're doing is partying all the time. Like, literally, you're in front of the cameras. You're living that Hollywood lifestyle.
I can imagine.
What you saying? What you saying, bro? What you saying? Real husbands of Paris, bro.
Yeah, bro. Trust me, you get me. It's one of them ones there. Messi's not about that, bro. Do you know what I mean? He's not like he rarely gives interviews.
I know.
He's rarely in front of the camera.
You know that interview that he gave? That's the first time I've heard him talk.
I know that's a shocking thing. This is the first time. Like when you see Messi talk, that's what I'm saying. That everything that he's saying must be true because he doesn't talk. In 16 years, this guy hasn't said much. Like probably count it on your hands the amount of words that he said.
No, but only time I've ever seen him talk
is like Ballon d'Or ceremony.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's it.
Like, thank you very much, and that's it.
Man says thank you and walks off the stage.
Trust me. I mean, amigos, gracias, Ballon, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Oh man! All right, but just as a final to wrap on the man that is Lionel. Say everything goes the way. I know, obviously, Arsenal, United, Newcastle fan, but how exciting would it be to see Lionel in the Premier League? I mean, obviously, like I think the Premier League is obviously over the last 10 years, the Premier League has lost their big stars to La Liga. So how good would it be, even though he's not in his prime, we know that, but still, to have Lionel at 34 playing in the Premier League, bear in mind you got man like Danny Ings scoring 20 goals in a season for Southampton. You bring Lionel in. How exciting is that? Just for the league, forget allegiances aside, just for the league. Truth.
Of course.
How exciting is that?
Of course. I've always said he's the GOAT. But I want, if he comes here, that would prove it. If he comes here and does it, it would prove it. It'd be no shadow of a doubt. No one could say anything. People keep holding, changing the goalposts. If Ronaldo didn't leave Man United, people would never, ever say he has to go and prove it every day. Ronaldo left, everyone's like, oh, no, he has to go elsewhere and prove it. Acting like Ronaldo went to like flipping Seville and made them champions or something. Yeah. Ronaldo went to the top clubs. Remember, he went to United after United won the league. He went to Madrid, top 2 biggest side in Spain. He went to Juve, who's won the league 9 times in a row. So it's not like he's gone to, these small clubs and, won it. So, Messi just has to go City, win the league. Not even win the Champions League, just go win the league and that's it. That way he's proved it to me and to everyone else, hopefully.
Yeah,
and two, how would you feel to see...
Yes, bro. If Danny Ings is scoring 20 odd, so got like, come on, man. Put some respect on my man's name. He don't, if Messi comes to the Premier League, even if he doesn't kill it, the level of entertainment he will provide will be worth every penny, man. And it will be the t-shirt sales, the advertising, all of that sponsorship money. Like it will easily clear off the money that was invested into him in the first place. Yeah. So I'd love to see it, man. I think that, quite frankly, I think the whole world would love to see him leave Barca, just to see him do it elsewhere. You know what I mean? He's been unlucky with Argentina. So
it is, and as I said, as much as they are our rivals, I mean, I love football, and to see Lionel in the Premier League, bro, going away at Newcastle, away to Sheffield United, bruv. Like, bruv, even the FA Cup, bruv, a cold rainy day on Stoke, bruv. Just see a Lionel playing there, bruv. Dealing with Rory lapping them long throws. Like. It would be something special, even though we're getting him at the end of the peak of his career. Like, his end of his peak is basically what majority of the guys in the Premier League are now. And we're not even talking about the bums, bruv. We're talking about most of the top players in the Premier League. Like Messi's end of peak is basically their peak. So, like I said, if man like Danny Ings is scoring 20 goals, man like Jamie Vardy is winning the Golden Boot, bruv. And you got Lionel playing with Sterling, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, just to name a few players. Obviously, unfortunately, we won't get the privilege of seeing him with David Silva.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been great. But bro, just to see all of that and him and Aguero and Jesus rotate, or even him dropping into number 10 playing with De Bruyne, it's curtains, man. It's curtains. Like there's no point. It's like Golden State in the NBA. Like just give them the league and see what happens in the Champions League, and just leave it at that. But unfortunately for now, Lionel is staying at Barcelona, so we might have to wait another season to see him in the Premier League. But that is the Messi segment out of the way. Next up, we will be shuffling over to the Premier League. It is coming back, so join us shortly. Yes, people, and we are back, and we have to welcome Mr. K.A. How are you doing, sir?
How's it going, everyone? Hope you didn't miss me too much.
Not at all. But we are gonna go into the Premier League restart, due to start next week, Saturday, 12th of September. It is back. I mean, obviously with the COVID and all that, everything's just jumbled up and messed up and all the rest of it. But we are getting Premier League football. We haven't had to wait that long, especially after that terrible Nations League nonsense that was on today. It's just international football just doesn't do it for me. But we will start with the opening game of the Premier League, which we Fulham versus Arsenal. We got our two Arsenal connoisseurs here, the truth from Mr. K.A. Firstly, I wanted to get your impressions on the business that you lot have done so far. Mr. AKA, what do you think of the business that Arsenal have done so far?
I think we've done great. I think we've done all right. Last video, I think I was on talking about Arsenal. I spoke about sorting out the defence, having a winger. I think we've answered that. I think I was Arteta listening. Was Mr. Edu listening? I don't know, because they've gotten some experience, which I spoke about. They've gotten some defenders. We've actually got options in defence now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we're going to go and talk about it. Some of them are young, but some of them, their first season in the Premiership. But we've got actual decent defenders now, even though they're not proven in the Premiership, but they're proven in their own way. So I'm quietly optimistic. Obviously, as I said, everyone's got a gel, so got to see how it goes. But yeah, did all right, man. Did all right.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, as you said, you've got the youngsters in. Pablo Mari, Gabriel, Saliba. Obviously, he came in January but went back on loan. But has he gone out on loan again, or is he?
No, he's with us.
He's at the club.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's the massive thing about Arsenal for the past 10 years. We
10?
must sort of
ever since Invincibles, fam. Ever since Invincibles. The defense has been
sort out the defense. Got some youth in there. Obviously, Sideshow Bob is still there.
He's Mr. Experience right now, man. So
it's true. It is true. Yeah. And then obviously, Ceballos has just re-signed his loan, so he's on loan again because he said he didn't want to go anywhere else. And then you've managed to snatch Willian from Chelsea, which normally it's Arsenal giving away their players. So the fact that you're able to snatch another player from another team is decent business. But truth, with all of what's gone on, obviously the transfer window isn't finished yet. It goes on to the first week of October or something like that. Yeah. What are the prospects? What are you expecting from Arteta and Arsenal in the coming season? Obviously, we can't talk foresee too much because we don't know how the players are going to react to such a short time of having a break and COVID and whatnot. And obviously, we've got the Euros and the World Cup qualifiers and the rest of it. But taking that aside, what is your expectation for the club, and what do you want to see, and what do you expect to see from Arteta and Arsenal this season?
I remember a few weeks ago, just before the transfer window started, we had a list. I don't know who sent it. It was like it just went around viral of a list of players that we were linked with for the summer. And I said, I think I remember telling Mr. KA, if we got those players, I would feel very confident going into this season of solidifying ourselves in the top four. The joke is we've got 4 out of those 6 players in terms of Gabriel, Willian, Ceballos has come back, and Saliba, obviously. And I think we're missing just the 2 pieces for me, which is Partey and probably another midfielder to play in that midfield role, whether it's attacking or that centre midfield, when you talk about Jose Mawar or Coutinho. From reports, we'll probably only get 1 out of the 3. I'm obviously hoping that we get Partey still. I know we still got a lot of work to do in terms of selling players to get him. But if we were to get Partey, I would fully expect us to go hard for a top 4 finish. And I'm not talking about being outside the top 4 and then getting in the final day. I'm meaning being inside the top 4 for a long period of time and wrapping it up with a good 5-6 games to go. Because the advantage we've got this season is that there's no fans in the stadium. So going to the lower league teams, and I'm even talking about going to like Sheffield United and Wolves, which are normally hard places to go. Without the fans, it's not a scary place to go. So you're just looking at the top 6 results between themselves. And from what I've seen from Arteta, he's had decent results against the top 6 towards the end of the season. So I think this season suits him perfectly, to tell the truth. No pressure against the bottom clubs. I think visiting the bottom clubs are going to be easy for the top 6. And as I said, it's going to come down to results between the top 6, which Arteta has a good results just recently. So yeah, I'm fully expecting a top 4 push. I'm not expecting a tighter challenge. I think we're a bit far away from that, probably about 2-3 seasons away from that. But definitely a top 4 push.
It's a reasonable assessment. I mean, if you take into consideration, obviously, even though it is the curtain raiser, but the charity shield, or whatever they call it nowadays, community, whatever, FA McDonald's shield, whatever they call it. I mean, Liverpool side, that obviously are the champions.
Mm-hmm.
Good account of yourselves. Abba with another fantastic goal. Went to penalties, and say, even though if you win it, it's a trophy. If you don't win it, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But it's another trophy in the cabinet in the cabinet against the champion. So, Mr. KA, is that another box ticked in this short but very successful campaign from Arteta?
It can only be a positive. As you said, you win it, you get a trophy, you get a medal, you get an excuse to celebrate and be happy, and that can only be a positive, a confidence booster, and a step in the right direction. So, and then with us being the FA Cup champions in Liverpool, who we beat, being the Premier League champions, it gives the team a boost or that mentality lift where we can say that we beat Liverpool coming in, and they played a decent side. So Salah was there with his new haircut, so it was a decent team, man.
Yeah, it was far from a friendly. It was far from a friendly. If you saw the way the teams played, both of them, they both had a point to prove. So it was far from a friend. And it's only in England where we don't take it seriously. In Spain, Italy, France, they take it seriously because it's a chance to beat the champions. It's a chance to get a trophy over the champions. So it's taken seriously in other countries. Just over here, people don't take it as seriously as they should do. So,
Mr. K, just to finish on the Arsenal talk, I really asked the truth. What are you expecting from this season? I didn't ask you. What are you expecting from this season? Where are you expecting Arsenal to finish this season?
Well, do you know what? I'm gonna wait and see sort of like the first, let's say, 10 games, 5 to 10 games or so, because as I said, with the signings that we have, it's a mixture. It's a mixture of like experience and teams with, and then players without experience, players who hasn't played in the Premier League. It's going to be a new setup, a new formation, possibly a new. Well, we could play the wing-back system, but it's going to be new players, so it's going to feel like a new position. A new formation. So it all depends on how they gel. But I like the fact that we've got the experience in the team. We've got the likes of Xhaka. We've got the likes of Willian now in the team, who's a versatile player in midfield. So we've actually got someone who can deliver the ball, which I talked about in the last video. We've got Luiz in the defence, and we've actually got a Brazilian core. Can you imagine that? Like our core is Brazilian, even though it's not like the Brazilian of old, of like Ronaldo and all the Roberto Carlos, all them guys, but it's a Brazilian core. They've got that camaraderie. Like even we've got Martinelli to come back as well. So he's another stuff people have forgotten about. But the one signing apart from Partey that we're waiting on is Uber, man. Albert Uber, whatever you want to call him. P, sign the thing, bruv. What's going on, man?
It is a conundrum because it's going into his last year now, isn't it? This is his last year. He's going into his last year. He's won the FA Cup. He's won the Charity Shield. He looks like he's got a good relationship with Arteta. You've made signings. What is the hold up? What could possibly be the hold up?
Maybe with all the pizza.
With all the positivity coming out of Arsenal and Arteta and what Edu's doing, what is the hold up?
Just like me, he's waiting for that Partey deal because he wants to win more trophies. So I don't blame him if he's saying, let me just hold on. Our transfer business isn't done yet. They have to show the right ambition. This is what I'm saying. And I know Kojo's saying that he's going to wait and see. For me, as I said, I expect a top 4. I really want us to go for it. And I do want trophies. Another FA Cup run wouldn't be bad. Winning the Carabao. I think Arteta's really going to go for the Carabao Cup because he learned under Pep. And Pep knows how important that trophy is for the rest of the season. So I hope we go out and try win that. I don't think I've seen us win that since I've been an Arsenal fan, actually. Can't remember the last time. I think this was talking about George Graham era since the last time we won the League Cup and that. So I would love to go win the Carabao Cup. I'm not one for sitting on the fence this season. I think this season we have a chance to go for it. If we don't make it, then yeah, I'll understand. Obviously, Arteta's still new. We got new players, but really and truly, I'm not going to be on the fence like I was previously and saying, we're still in transition. I think we have to put our foot down now and go for it because we have an opportunity with the whole COVID and everything. I don't think we could be happy with just being outside the top 4 and having another season like we done last year because that's not acceptable at this moment in time.
I 100% agree. I mean, on the outside looking in, as I said, Arteta in the short time that he's had has worked wonders. The players that you brought in are young and they're going to buy into the ethos that Arteta is trying to do, and I can't see why Arsenal can't finish in the top 4 or at least push. We've got 6 teams trying to get into 4 spots. Depending on what more business Everton do, it could be 7. Because obviously with them getting Allen, James, Decore, with Ancelotti there, bro, it's just another problem from another team. Do you know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting times, but we're trying to get 7. So it could potentially be 7 clubs into 4 spots. But I can't see why Arsenal cannot get in there. I'm gonna move on from Arsenal now, and we're gonna touch on the team that has been spending all the money. I mean, we haven't got the man whose team it is here at the moment. I think he's cooking with Rash or whatever. But
he's watching the boxing, mate. He's in the gym. Doing something manly, mate.
Let's talk about Chelsea. I mean, they've just been going in, mate. I mean,
mate, they're scaring the rest of the league, man.
Scaring the rest of the league.
Everyone's nervous now, man.
Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, Thiago Silva.
Well, there's a bit that's gonna be iffy now, isn't it, Thiago? There's rumors where he could be
No,
linked with other clubs.
not
No, it's done,
Thiago.
isn't it?
Thiago
Thiago
Silva,
Silva. Thiago
the
Silva.
defender.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
midfielder. Sorry, my bad. I'm yeah.
There was someone else. Who's the other person?
They
Werner
bought that. They bought that
Havertz,
goalkeeper. Well, they're looking at that goalkeeper.
Oh,
Recently.
Chilwell.
Oh yeah, Ben Chilwell. They bought.
Chilwell as well. I mean,
Yeah,
Chelsea
the team
are
is.
building something massive here. Truth, are you scared? Because I know I am.
With Chelsea, I think they're going to have the best attacking force in the league. Whether on paper, whether they gel or not, it'd be a different thing. But on paper, they have the best attacking force. I think Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic, Werner. Tell me a better front line. There's no better front line at the moment in the league. And if they click, then they're going to do damage. But my caveat to that is just I don't know if Lampard is going to be able. I don't know if Lampard is going to be able to get it all to work this season. I know he done an amazing job last season, but I think there's loads of little things where you're talking about Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham went up to that level, so they kind of got away with having a mediocre season. Because remember, down from third all the way down, everyone had mediocre seasons. Chelsea and United just got away with it. So I don't know if Lampard has it in him. So yes, on paper they're going to be very fearful. I just don't know if Lampard is the guy to really get the best out of all these players. Remember, he's only had 1 year at Derby and then obviously last year at Chelsea, which was mediocre from both. I'm not going to say he done amazingly. They were mediocre altogether. So that's a caveat to that.
Yeah, so Mr. KA, what are your thoughts on Chelsea and how they're building this juggernaut of a side? Do you concur with what the Truth said about on paper they've got a potent attacking force, but he doesn't believe in Fat Frank and what he can do with this team? Or are you under the impression that because even though the league was mediocre, he managed to get fourth with basically no striker, and with the force that he's got now, he must be able to do something.
Yeah, do you know what? Because as the Truth said, they've got some good players coming in, and as you said as well, it's pretty scary, man. Everyone's kind of like taken more of a notice of Chelsea and like taking them even more seriously. Frank, I think he's a player's manager, so he seems like a good motivator. So I think he could still get something out of the players, even though it's their first time having them gel. I think I can see a lot of players saying they want to play for Frank, and they've still got good players in the squad. Like we've got Mount that we haven't mentioned. We've got, if you can get Kovacic playing good, that should be a good thing. But then also
Kovacic was good last season, to be fair.
Yeah, but he had his ups and downs, and same with Jorginho as well. They were both in and out of the team. So if you can get them sort of extending their purple patches, then it should be good. But then I'm more kind of like concerned about their defense, because that was where their problem was last season on set pieces.
Yeah, they conceded the most goals, isn't it?
Yeah,
out of the top half the table, they conceded the most, and we that's saying something because we had a horrible defense too. So I don't know how.
But do you not think that adding the experience of Thiago Silva and obviously Ben Chilwell was sought after? I mean, at one point, I think in January, he was almost going to City. Do you think with those two additions that, I wouldn't say eradicates their problem at the back, but it makes it a lot better than what it was?
I don't think so.
No, me neither, to be honest. I don't think it adds that much. Because I asked the question, who are they going to partner Thiago with? Are they going to play 3 at the back? Are they going to play 2 at the back? Thiago is new to it. As the Truth mentioned earlier on, there's going to be no fans, so it will be kind of easy for Thiago to settle in. But it's still a new environment. It's still a new partnership. So
I'd be surprised. I don't know what the plan is for Thiago. I don't know what your thoughts are, TJ, but what do you think the plans were for Thiago Silva on a 1-year contract?
I think. Go on.
Yeah, no, because I'm saying he's there. You're probably thinking he's going to play. He's probably the best centre back they have, but it's not saying a lot because Rudiger, Christensen, they're not great. Tomori's very young still very inexperienced. So
Zuma as well.
when I see Zuma, all I see is getting spun by Oba. So I'll leave it for next day. What do you think the plans are for Thiago Silva?
I think the main reason why Thiago Silva's been brought in more than anything else is experience. I think in terms of organising the back three or the back four, taking the players forward. As I said, Tomori's young. Christensen, I think, is only 25. I think Zuma is only 25 as well. It's only Rudiger, I think, who's 28. I want to say he's 28.
Yeah, they've also got Azpilicueta as well for the experience. So,
but with Azpilicueta, I can't say his name, but he's more of that right. He's more playing right back or right wing back. So I think Thiago Silva's first and foremost was brought in for the experience to be the organizer. I think bar that, bro, I don't see what other purpose he serves. He's 33. Now obviously prior we're talking about Lionel potentially coming into the Premier League 34, 35. Well, that's Lionel, and he's an attacker. It's a lot easier. You're coming into the Premier League where all these guys do is run at 33 years old. It's going to be a reality check for him. But I think if he can partner him with the right centre-back and he can coach them through it, I think it will be a decent addition. But I agree with you lot. In terms of centre-backs, it doesn't solve the problem. I think bringing Ben Chilwell in at left-back solves the problem for them because they had that Emerson who was terrible and Alonso who only wanted to go forward. Reece James on the other side as well, wing back or right back. I think Asra, whatever his name is. I think he's got like one more season. I think Azzi's probably got one more season left in him. And then Reece James will be playing that for the next 10 years for Chelsea unless he gets bought by Real Madrid or Barcelona. But yeah, to go back to the original point, Thiago Silva, experience, know-how, and obviously I think that experience in the Champions League as well will serve them a little bit of purpose. But other more than that, I can just see him getting terrorized by the other teams. But just wanted to bring Tooth in because obviously he's got those connections in Germany, bruv. Obviously,
I wasn't sure what he was going to say there. He's a connection. I was like,
he's got the plug in Germany.
He's got the plug in Germany.
I don't know.
But Kai Havertz, obviously, Timo Werner coming in from Germany. You've obviously seen a bit of them play for Leverkusen and Leipzig. What are Chelsea getting from those two players?
Oh, two absolute monsters. Havertz to begin with. So let's start off with the one that we're more familiar with. We've seen a bit more of him in the Champions League. That's just a glimpse of what he's capable of doing. He's very young still. He's going to develop into a monster. He is going to be probably Germany's future captain at some point. The kid can play anywhere and everywhere in an attacking position, but he's also got a very good defensive mind about him. I know we had this discussion in the WhatsApp group before about what position is he really, what is his best position? Because he's so versatile.
Yeah.
But when he was coming up through the ranks, he was a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah.
So he does have a defensive brain about him. But then as he grew, and this was what's amazing about him, he had an amazing growth spurt. So he shot up to like 6 foot something in a short period.
When I saw his height. 6'1".
Yeah, man. He shot up. And then once they realised, let's try him down the middle as a centre forward. Smashed it. They were like, let's put him on the wide, on the flanks in a wide position. Smashed it. Let's play him as a number 10 role. Smashed it. And we have to think about this. Like, Leverkusen are not the strongest team in the Bundesliga. They're not like a RB Leipzig or a Dortmund. Do you know what I mean? They're a decent team, but they're not like charging for a title or competing with Bayern by any sense. So they've definitely got a beast on their hands. Dribbling ability is out of this world, and he's a finisher as well. Him partnering up with Ziyech and Werner is going to be formidable. I'm telling you, it's going to be mad. As far as why he chose Chelsea, Bayer will never sell any players to Munich. They will never, ever do it, because I'm not sure if you boys remember, there was one season where Munich literally hijacked all the Leverkusen players.
Yeah, took the Balaks and all of it.
Balak, Zay Roberto or Zay Ramirez.
Yeah.
They took all of them in one season as well, on a free.
So Salihamidzic come from? So was Salihamidzic Leverkusen, or was he? I know he went to. Munich?
He might have been.
I'll have to look over it.
Yeah. So Leverkusen have this grudge where they will never ever sell a player to Munich. But I do know this for sure. At some point, Munich will go back in for Havertz. They definitely will. It might be a Leroy Sané situation. They might let him play in England for a couple of years. But believe it or not, Munich will come knocking on that Havertz door. And depending on how Havertz's career is going, I mean, look at Sané. He was smashing it at City, and he still decided to bounce, because the law of Munich to German players is just it's a boyhood dream. Do you know what I mean? You can't turn it down when they come after you. Werner similarly is a beast. He's been smashing it at RB. And the reason why he didn't leave for Munich was simply because RB can't afford to keep these sort of players. Like, they can sell players and keep players on their own demand, simply because they have that sort of money in the club now, where they're not having to be compromised by the teams like Munich. As far as Fat Frank, and again, this is the discussion we had on the WhatsApp group, man. I don't think Roman will be looking at him as the kind of manager that, I will give him time simply because he's a legend. I think he's just going to be as cutthroat as he's always been, simply because he put 200 plus into the club this season, and he's brought in probably the most hottest properties in terms of prospects in the game right now. And if, as you mentioned as well, if Fat Frank was able to get top four with no striker and a transfer ban, and now he's bought in 200 million worth of players, and he can't compete for the title, I think he's going. And I definitely think he's gone by December if they're long off the mark. Don't get me wrong. If they're like in fourth or fifth and they're like 20 points adrift from first place, I personally think he's going to get the sack. Just quickly on Thiago Silva. What you said about them buying, what was the purpose of them buying Thiago Silva? I read this article and I think it made perfect sense. Was basically because Chelsea made a mistake by letting David Luiz go. And it wasn't a tactical decision. It was more of a decision because of leadership experience and someone that can take the blame when things go wrong. You have to bear in mind all the four centre-backs at Chelsea, so Christensen, Rudiger, Zuma, and I forgot the other one's name. Tomori. Bro, these guys, none of them have a partnership. A, all of them are young. B, none of them have shown leadership. Only when they're winning, cool. But when they're losing, their heads go down. They're very inexperienced in the game. And the article was making a comparison when David Luiz came to Arsenal, right? For example, Tierney had a game, like a terrible game where Arsenal must have lost like 4-1, and Tierney was a liability. And David Luiz went in the dressing room and said, look, I've got this. I'm going to take the blame for this so it doesn't ruin your development. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, that's what they're looking for. That's what they're missing. Because in that Chelsea squad, those defenders are like, I almost get the feeling that they will backstab each other at a drop of a dime if something goes wrong. One will, you know what I mean? One will blame the other if something goes. Like, there's not that lead, there's not that experience. So in terms of that 1-year deal, I think he's just come in to be like almost like a player coach in defence. So I don't think it's the worst move in the world. I think it's a good signing if if it can improve the players around him, not necessarily him, because he might, players might run rings around him at his age and, move into a new league, a new club, getting adjusted. He might have a terrible season, but that's not the purpose why I think they brought him in for, if that makes sense. Yeah. I think he's brought in to help the players around him grow, because Zuma can be a world-class defender. Rudiger can be a world-class defender. I think personally, they're still young. They still got a lot to prove, but that's
not world class. If you're not world class by 21, you're never going to be world class, mate.
Fair enough.
I mean, not world. If you're not on that trajectory to be world class by 21, I just don't think you're going to be world class.
Bearing in mind, these players that they bought, Havertz and Ziyech and Werner, they have come from probably the best academies in Europe. Of course. These boys know how to play football. They know tactics. They are primed and groomed to be world-class players or play at least at the elite level, at the top level. So they're going to be dangerous, and they're a scary team already.
It is 100%. Just in a few words as possible, I'm just going to ask the three of you. Start with Mr. K. Where do you expect Chelsea to finish?
Well, top four, man. Our German correspondent just gave an excellent kind of analysis and broke it down, man. They have to be top four, even possibly challenging. You've got to see how City start the season, and even Liverpool as well, if they have some sort of Champions hangover where they don't start off the season firing on all cylinders. But so I think Chelsea are up there. Without these signings, they were up there. So who's to say they won't do it again?
Truth.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, it's going to be hard for me to predict the top six. Obviously, as I said, I want Arsenal to be up there. I just think there's loads of weaknesses in every single one of the top 6 or 7 teams, as you may have said. So right now, it's hard for me to predict. But if I'm just going on paper, then Chelsea need to be having a title challenge and possibly finishing third or second. I think anything less than that is a bad season, considering how much money they've spent.
Tooth, just to bring you in, where do you think Chelsea will finish?
Yeah, I think it's between Man City and Chelsea on paper. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, Man City and Chelsea. We'll watch this space. Obviously, we could go on and on about Liverpool and City and what they've done, but we won't touch on them. But obviously, we know they will be fighting for a title challenge between the two of them. We would expect it, being the champions and the former champions, and they will come again. But we are going to move on to
Ole by the wheel. Tell me how you feel.
So as you can see, United, after the season ended. After the season ended, obviously Jaden's...
This whole thing took a sharp right, didn't it?
The mood just dropped like...
boom, plummeted.
These guys signed Donald Duck, apparently. Mr. Donny van der Beek.
Signed, so obviously...
They signed, bro. They signed Donny van der...
Van der Beek's been signed. You lot go ahead, innit?
But Gunwood's got the new number 11.
Man like Gunwood in that.
Cementing, giving him more responsibility in the team first.
I need to hear personally though, because obviously when they announced Van der Beek, I was interested to know where he's going to play. So maybe you could just shine some light about where and how. I see you don't know. Where is he going to play? Because, he's a centre midfielder. Obviously, you got Pogba, Fernandes there. Unless you're thinking of just playing
don't
Pogba,
forget about the legendary
Fred, McTominay. Where's he going to play?
Well, listen, I said, me personally, I play him instead of Bruno. I'm one of these United fans that the more I've watched Bruno Fernandes, the more I don't like him. And
elaborate on that.
bruv, this is the thing, and this is how the media poisons people's mind, bruv. Bruv, he's basically done the same thing that Sanchez done when he came. All he does is gives away the ball and tries to play Hollywood passes. And bruv, Maureen said it best, bruv. He takes good penalties, innit? Because that's basically what he's done since he's come. But the media are on this agenda where, bro, I heard Jamie Redknapp say the other day, since Bruno's come in, he's allowed Pogba to play better. Get out of here, bruv. Are you mad? Are you mad? Like, what are you talking about? Bruno's come, but they have this guy on some pedestal. Like, apart from the last game against Sevilla, which I knew we were going to lose, bro, this guy was one of the worst players on the pitch. I think, what was it that we played in the Europa League? He got man of the match. He was one of the worst players on the pitch, bruv. And this is what I'm saying. Like, this is how media split fans when they force this agenda about how Bruno's the Messiah and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Well, you know what? I'm not going to go out because I'll just be here all day. But in terms of Donny van de Beek, let's focus on that because you lot are just trying to upset me.
But he's another versatile player, isn't he, man? Again, Ajax Academy, total football. You can literally put him anywhere. That's what I think the benefit of signing a player like that is in your squad, because he doesn't necessarily come in and take Pogba's position or Fernandes. You can literally play him anywhere.
He's a good player.
Yeah, but
one of the biggest things for United is that we needed to improve the bench because the quality of the bench was terrible. And when, like, as you could see in them games, like when the first 11 didn't work, we didn't really have anything coming off the bench. So bringing in Donny van de Beek, I think what he's been brought in for is in case Bruno gets injured, but I think his main priority is to rotate with Pogba, which is a violation. But like it's all about strength and depth. It's not someone that we necessarily needed, but I'm not going to complain about getting him because it means that we can offload some of the other players that we don't need. So, i.e. Andreas Pereira, who is the biggest fraud of youth in this world. How this guy...
he was that bad at Valencia, man. When he went to Valencia, I thought he was a different player.
Then let him go back to Valencia then. Because he has no right being at Man United, bruv.
Fair enough.
He's just dead food, bruv.
I personally think that Van der Beek is almost too good to be a squad player. I don't really see him rotating because let's put it like Man City. Man City for centre midfielder, they had Bernardo Silva, David Silva, KDB, Gundogan. Players like Gundogan, David Silva was also, he accepted he's going to be rotated. Bernardo Silva, not the only guy there that's really good enough is De Bruyne. I don't think United have that yet to say, oh, Pogba, Fernandes, you're definitely going to play all game. But I don't think you rotate a player like Van der Beek. You know, he doesn't come from Ajax playing week in, week out Champions League to go sitting on the bench sometimes, coming in, rotating. I don't think he's that kind of player. So I said I'm interested to see where he's going to play.
If you want me to be honest, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, if you don't want my honest opinion, I think Van der Beek, don't get me wrong, I said, is to improve squad depth. But I think the main reason is that United could still anticipate Pogba to go. And as much as there's been talks, and obviously I think Raiola's come out and said that Pogba will re-sign and whatnot, blah, blah, I think it is a safety net. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he's been bought in to say, all right, cool, Pogba's definitely going to leave. I think he's part squad depth, part safety net, just in case Pogba, Zidane says, yeah, I want Pogba at Real Madrid, and Pogba says, yeah, see you lot later. So it could be that as well. But I personally think squad depth and to offload some other players, that's personally why I think he's been brought in. But he is top quality. Don't get it twisted. I don't want to, but the thing is, I don't even want to see him playing the Pogba role. I want him playing in Bruno's role because he, as much as I hated Fat Frank, he's got that about him where he makes them late runs and he's in the right place, right time to score goals. Yeah. And obviously, Ajax Academy, bruv, technical a bit. Bruv, man's going to be going there, and see a man like Andreas Pereira, McTominay, and he's going to be like, bruv, you man have been playing football for how long? And your technical ability is abysmal, bruv. Man's going to be going there. Hold on, another question. What can Oli tell him?
Nothing.
What can Oli tell him or coach him and tell him, bruv?
Nothing.
What's
At the end of the day, you need to broaden your skill
Well, I
set.
think
So
he's gonna be coaching Ollie.
no, trust me. Van der Beek's
Said
gonna
the
have to
same
get.
thing about Bruno though. They were like, he came in and transformed the team. He brought creativity, flair, blah blah blah.
Hold on. Do you know what Ollie said to Bruno when he came in?
Go
Get
on,
in the
enlighten
box.
me.
He just said, do what you were doing at Sporting Lisbon. That's your manager, coach, telling you, yeah, what we're gonna do is just do what you were doing at Sporting Lisbon, and you'll be okay. Friggin' chipping balls in bins, bruv, as well. And listen, don't upset my soul, man.
Hey,
like-
real quickly.
Yeah.
Did you not hear about Pogba wanting to go back to Juve, or is that all fake news?
Fake news as far as I'm aware, because Raiola has come out and said that he's going to sign a new deal with United, but we'll see. We'll watch that space because it all depends on how Pogba performs in the season.
The article was like, because Pirlo's like manager now, right? And he's obviously offloaded. I forgot who it was. I think it was Khedira, right?
Tweedy, Khedira, Higuain.
Yeah.
One more, I can't remember.
Apparently, the article was saying like, and obviously Pogba had played with Pirlo during his time at Juve. So the article was basically alluding to the fact that, you know, Pogba wants to go back to Juve and play under Pirlo. But I just wanted to check if any of you guys had heard that story or not.
I personally think it's all based on what Pogba does this season. If he has an outstanding season, I think we could see the Juves and the Real Madrids coming back in again. Obviously, I think the biggest dependent is on what happens with the second wave with COVID and all the rest of it, and the finances of clubs and stuff. But I think if Pogba has an outstanding season and then has a good Euros as well, don't be surprised if Real Madrid and Juve and PSG all start coming back in for him again. It's just the way that it is.
It's true, and Man United don't look like the team that they can hold off these kind of offers anymore. But speaking of United, bruv, there's a big question that I think everyone's forgotten about, bruv. Sancho.
Yeah, I was actually gonna follow up on that. After seeing today, Sancho.
Oh yeah, Sanchez. Sancho. Okay, yeah.
After watching today, do you still want United to go all out to get someone like Jadon Sancho, or do you back the club's policy of not overspending for someone like him? Because my thoughts personally on Sancho is that he's a blue chip player. He's up there. He can be, but he's still a bit immature, and I don't think he's ready for a team like Man United where he's going to be in the public eye. If you hear some of the stories about him in Germany, obviously he's showing up to training late, the lifestyle he's still got that immature thing about him, and that's in Germany. If he was to do that over here, with the spotlight's on him, it would be like probably another Pogba thing, where, you know, he'd be used as a scapegoat, that kind of thing. So,
on his back,
Souness would be like, he's not winning, he hasn't won the World Cup, he's trash, you know, COVID is his fault and that kind of stuff. So,
just talking about his haircut,
so do you still want him at United with that price tag?
Not for the money that Dortmund want. I back the club in that it's ridiculous amount of money. Don't get me wrong. I understand that the club can do it, but I think, and I know a lot of United fans are saying, pay the money if you want the player and stuff because other teams have done it. But I'm just like, bro, that's too much money, way too much in this climate. Don't get me wrong. If they put a package together and said, all right, cool, here's 60 mil plus add-ons and all the rest of it and blah, 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 then we can kind of work it. But in terms of Dortmund saying they want 108 mil and nothing, nah, not for me, man. I think that I wouldn't say there's better out there, but there's other options out there. And I'm not talking about Jack Grealish. I'm not talking about Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish, 80 million. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You're paying
I
80
am
million
not
for...
talking about Jack Grealish.
They want that peaky blinders haircut at your club.
I'm telling you, I don't know if it's racism or just European managers don't want to go for these type of players no more. But I'm looking at 108 for Sancho. You can pay 30 to 40 mil and get a man like St. Allen. And for me, I know. Two's not happy about that, but trust me, you pay 30, 40 million for St. Allen, and you get arguably a player that can do the same amount of damage as Sancho, if not.
You pay that amount of money, you get a Jorginho 2.0, mate.
Oh no. No, 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 no. Oh no. No, 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 no.
Oh shit, this guy.
Topic, man.
All right, you know
This
what?
No,
guy.
two. We're gonna come to Newcastle. We are gonna come to Newcastle.
This guy,
We are gonna come to
Hey,
do
hold
not call St. Allen Jorginho, fam. That's disrespectful.
2.0,
He
mate.
is the next coming of Ronaldinho under the right manager.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm laughing like I'm telling jokes, fam.
You said
Have you not seen,
Ronaldinho.
fam? Go and see this guy play. He loves entertaining. He loves just doing people for fun, fam. Imagine him under.
Danny
Imagine him under
Drinkwater looks
Goodman.
good on YouTube as well.
This guy's disrespectful. This guy is disrespectful. Imagine Danny Drinkwater.
But I don't want to take the piss or anything, yeah, because I like Nicolas Pepe as well. I like Pepe.
Oh shit.
But come on, like if we're talking about who had more of a Gervinho season, it was probably Pepe more so than fucking ASM. Do you know what I mean? I don't like Pepe, bro.
Pepe got this season.
Huh?
He's one of the top assisters in the. Well, I don't know about the league, but at Arsenal, I think he was.
Rob,
Hey, if Allen was playing for us, he'd have the same numbers. But man's got Joe Linton up front. So what do you expect, fam?
Man, like Almiron.
Exactly,
Yeah, Almiron's sick, man.
Almiron had a good season.
Yeah, Almiron had a good season.
Yeah,
But we're gonna get to Newcastle.
Yeah.
For real. But I disagree, man. Listen, I think Man United should cash out and pay up the money, man. Again, just being one of the guys that is, as you guys said, like I've got connections in German football, whatever the case might be. But from Germany, they're like, they can't believe Man United are being stingy. What they believe it is the same kind of underhanded tactics that Man United have done, and it doesn't surprise me because who is it? Woodward, you're the guy that runs like.
Oh, don't talk to me about that guy, man.
Every time he goes in for a player, it's the same fucking.
They just say no.
Yeah.
They just say anytime he goes in for a player, they just say no, bro, because he doesn't know what he's doing.
No respect.
Man goes in there.
No.
Man goes in there.
Go on.
Exactly, and this is the point I was trying to make. In Germany, they're like, "Is this guy serious?"
No respect.
Serious? Like they can't believe. Yeah,
I have to agree with him though, because in this case, I have to defend Woodward because with coronavirus, you can't pay 108 for one player.
It's disrespectful.
You can't pay 108 at the moment. I love the way that they're sticking to their guns. As I said, I think it's okay to stick to your guns. I think if United really want to go get him, go and get him. I don't think United should try bargain, say, oh, we're giving this. Either pay the 108 or don't say it's too much, you know. Go and sign other people because you're dragging it out. As I said, you guys are spending so much time with Sancho. You should be looking at other targets, right? Man, like Great should say.
No. Bro, I'll happily take Leon Bailey, bruv. I'll happily take Leon Bailey, bruv. Like the one thing that I've been screaming out for Man United is that we haven't had a left-footed winger since Ryan Giggs.
That's true.
We haven't had a left-footed winger since Ryan Giggs, bruv. And we all know how effective Lionel,
Sanchez,
Robin.
Was he not left-footed?
No,
Who?
Sanchez right.
Sanchez played on the left, but he was right-footed. So we haven't had a left-footed winger since Ryan Giggs. Like, get some left-footers in, bro. Like, Gunwood is a striker. So, yeah, I mean, even though he's left-footed, he's a striker. But obviously, he's playing out wide at the moment. But me personally, as I said, paying the money for Sancho, not 108. There's other people out there that can be got. Don't be wrong, I love Sancho. I want him at Man United. But what I've heard, like, from watching obviously James Cooper and all them man there, is that the sticking point actually isn't the money. It's Sancho's wages and his agent's fee that United are having the most difficulty with.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do is basically sort that out, because obviously no official bid has actually been made for Sancho.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do is sort out, agree wages and agents' fees. Obviously, they're not supposed to be doing that before they talk to Dortmund, but obviously everyone does it. And then once they've got that verbal agreement in place, then they're going to go to Dortmund with an offer. It won't be the 108, but it will be X amount plus add-ons and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. But allegedly, the sticking point right now is the wages and the agents' fees. And I'm just like, if Jadon Sancho's asking for like 300-400 bags a week, bruv, just go for other targets. There are other players out there that we can use to get where we need to be. I said, obviously, we could sign everyone in the world with that manager. We're not getting anywhere. But there's other targets out there, bro.
As I said, what do you think of his performance today and the whole? Obviously, he played today. My concern with Sancho is that, as I said, he's just not ready yet. He's a very good player in that Dortmund side, which have brought him up. You know, he's played on the City, he's played on the Dortmund. They play in a certain way. Going into that United side is just a different story, where the way they play isn't the most effective. So someone like Sancho wouldn't stand out. So as I said, for him, even him asking that much money, I fully side with Man United on this. I wouldn't pay that, because he hasn't. He has to prove it first that he can do it, and then you can go for that money. You can't be asking for that money before you've done it. So
what are his wage demands?
It's all speculation, so no one actually knows what he wants. That was just me speculating. But apparently the club, I think he's asking for a certain amount, and the club are like, nah, we're not doing that. Because obviously the whole Alexis Sanchez thing, and they've learnt from that, and they're not trying to go down that route.
So, we're realistically speaking, from an Arsenal fan point of view, I think United are a huge threat to us. A huge threat in the top four. I know you may not see it, but it's United. They have a way. They might use VAR. Solskjaer was a lucky striker. You guys got Fernandes. So you guys got all the weapons available to, you know, stay up there. But realistically speaking, where do you think United are going to finish up this season?
7th.
7th is good. Realistically speaking, not pessimistically speaking.
Bro, 6. That's me being honest. I see. If I'm honest, predictions. I see it being Liverpool and City battling out for the title. A lot closer than obviously what it was last season. I see more of the season before in terms of them two battling it out, depending on whether or not Thiago Alcantara ends up at Liverpool or not, because they do need, especially if Wijnaldum goes to Barca, because I think I read something that he's close to joining Barcelona. Wijnaldum, so they have to replace him, and they probably need to get another striker in. But I see those two battling out. I see Chelsea closing the gap, but cementing 3rd place. And then that leaves Arsenal, United, and Spurs, and possibly Everton as well, all battling for 4th. And obviously, I like the way how Arteta is going on with Arsenal right now. I like the direction that you lot are going in, the players that you bought in. Obviously, it's Abba signs. And then if you lot do that deal, that swap deal plus money, I think, with Partey and Lacazette, I think that puts you lot, that's a massive problem for everybody else in the league. And then obviously Spurs, they're not spending money, but they bought a couple players in.
I'm
Joe
vexed
Hart,
Doherty.
Doherty, Schoenberg, they bought them in as well. So it's nuts. But realistically, 5th or 6th, I can't see United getting top 4. I mean, if Sancho deal does go through, it changes dynamic a little bit. But if it's the squad as it is right now, I can't see no higher than 6. As I said, the league last season was deceiving, because with the points, United would have finished 6th with those points. So they're no better than what they were prior. And obviously, as long as Ollie's in charge, the club's not going to go anywhere. Not going to go anywhere.
Oh, shit, man. Said Ollie's not by the wheel this time.
Bruv,
The wheels are falling off.
the wheels are falling up, bruv.
Before the
Listen,
season has even started.
Bruv, listen, there's a pile up on the M25 right now, bruv.
Any thoughts on Champions Leagues, FA Cups?
Yeah, you guys in the Champions League now? Any trophies? You looking for trophies this season? I said laughing.
Bruv, it's Ollie, bruv.
Fam, there's Carabao Cup up for grabs. Champions League.
Go for the FA Cup, man.
Champions League will be lucky to get out of the group stage. depending on what kind of group we get. FA Cup quarterfinal if we're lucky. Carabao Cup, he's not going to take it seriously. It's going to be for the youth. So no, this is the answer. No. I said, like, me personally, the only way to get this man out is if man finishes like 6th or 7th, and I don't wish that on my team at all. But with him in charge, that I can't see anything happening. I mean, if we get 4th again next season, I see it as a victory, to be honest, because I see too many teams that have got way better players and way better managers for us to do anything. But it is what it is. What can you do? Dude's just looking at me, bro. Mr. Negative. But yeah.
No, shall I tell you why, bro? Because
go for it.
You sound like me when the wheels at Newcastle started falling off. Like, you actually start despising your team.
When were they on?
Huh?
Man's violating, bro. When they had Aspria, Solano, all them man there, bro. Champions League and all that.
Can't just send shots at Newcastle all the time, you know? Why you
Solano, bro.
K's always sending shots at Newcastle. Man.
Them days with Alan Smith and Baduka, bro.
Oh, shit, you guys had Baduka in it.
Oh, yeah, they had Baduka in it, yeah.
Next K's gonna say, what's it? Danny Ings is a better version of Alan Shearer.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that. That's for me, mate. I wouldn't go that far. Mate. Alan Shearer.
But yes,
in the celebration,
Shearer, that's when we might get a little bit physical, bro. You know what I mean? That's not a kick off a wall, bro.
Oh dear. But yes, people. 2.
Yo.
As to wrap up, it's a final. We are gonna wrap up now because we have been on for long. But just a quick one from ya, because we like to hear about different clubs.
Yeah.
Your prospects for your team?
Fuck all, bruv. Just survive. Don't get relegated.
Just survive.
Mate, you got to say maximum, mate. I'm expecting more.
Bruv, we got Joe Linton as well.
Hold on. Just there are talks of Callum Wilson coming in from Bournemouth.
That'd be a good signing. That'd be an amazing signing.
And Ryan Fraser as well.
That'd be decent.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, we got to see. It really is a waiting game. I mean, like, I know Eddie Howe was a good manager at Bournemouth. He had a system there in place, and it was a matter of finding a player to come in and fill that spot for him. But at Newcastle, it's a whole clusterfuck of things. Do you know what I mean? Steve Bruce doesn't particularly have a style of football. It's just go out there and play. Do you know what I mean? So if he brings in someone like Callum Wilson, like, I don't know, brother. We just have to wait and see, man. Whatever the case may be, he's not going to be better than Joe Linton. So, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we are going to
and on that note,
wrap it up there. Thank you very much to my guys, The Truth, Mr. K.A. and Tooth. We are back, people. As I said, make sure you like and subscribe on the
smash
videos.
that like button, mate.
Of course, we will be back talking about all things Premier League as it does come back. We've got a couple of UFC events coming up. But more importantly, we still got to talk about the basketball playoffs. We need to get into that as well. That will be coming very soon. It's the only channel on this platform where we discuss all sports all the time. But thank you very much to my guys. We shall be back very soon. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.